Greetings and welcome to Old Drunken Discography, where old friends and fans come together to BS, argue, occasionally agree, discuss a musical artist. This week's musical artist is Def Leppard. We're talking the self-titled album Def Leppard. With me is Tim.
Hi.
Bill.
I don't know why I'm still here.
And our returning special guest, Cowboy.
Because I'm dangerous.
All right. And I'm Jason. And we're just gonna get right into Def Leppard.
Man.
What about this one, Cowboy? Start us off. What do you think about 2015 Def Leppard?
I remember hearing it for the first time. I didn't know that, it kind of took me by surprise a little bit. And let's see, Let's Go was there was just something about it. It was pour some sugar on me all over again.
Literally in my notes. But if Green Day had done it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, well, yeah, I can see that. What about you, Jesse? Could you see that?
You want me to read my notes for Let's Go? I will read my notes. It's super ironic. The opening line was, "Do you really, really want to do this now?" The answer is no, Joe. I have to leave Hannah, shout out Hannah, in Fortnite.
Shout out Hannah.
To come listen to this, and you hit me with Let's Go. Once it gets going, it sounds like what you would want from Def Leppard, but then it has this "Let's Go" thing going on, and I was done.
Oh.
Yeah, I think the problem is what you want from Def Leppard now is no thanks.
Yeah.
I don't want anything.
That's
I got my whiskey. I got my wine.
By this point with me and Def Leppard's career, if they're still doing that stuff, the keeping their formula, I was happy with it. Wouldn't say I was always ecstatic or about it, but I kind of settled. I settled for the norm with them.
You accepted defeat and you took what you could get.
Yes, even though they came out recently before the self-titled album with "I'm Undefeated." They came out with a single song for Mirrorball, their live album, which was in between this,
And you like that song?
I'm Undefeated? No, I hate that song.
Oh. Okay.
I do.
All right.
Well,
I think it's a cheesy ripoff of them. So they're trying to, I don't know what the hell they're doing, but it was cheesy to me.
What's your favorite song on this album?
Probably "We Belong," because it was "We Belong" is the song on the album that each person has their own solo part that they sing in the song. Even Rick Allen has his own solo line that he sings. He piped up and sings for the first time in the song, and the way they put it together, it was beautiful.
Okay.
And that's a Joe Elliott song.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Joe Elliott's a pretty good songwriter. I mean, he doesn't write too many songs, but he
writes a lot of the newer stuff.
He writes a lot of the newer stuff.
He's one of the main creditors for
Rick Savage.
I do see they're all contributing 3 or 4 songs each.
Yeah. It's very split here.
Yeah. Viv got 1 credit on here. Again, probably making more on that Metallica money.
Yeah.
All right.
Because the Metallica covers album did go diamond.
Yeah.
This didn't even go gold.
Cowboy bought it.
What?
You bought this album.
Yeah, I did.
Well, you and only about 200,000 other people.
Hey, for Def Leppard in 2015, that ain't bad. When you really
That's
think
not
about
bad. No. For any artist of 2015, that's not bad.
Yeah, this is the height of online
it.
downloading.
Listen, this is where you go find it, pirate it online for free, and call it a day.
Well, and so the numbers I have also include streamings, which the formula is for every 1,500 streams, they count that as one sale. And now if you do the videos, it's 1675. So every 1675 views counts as one sale. So you look at the single and it gets, 30,000 views.
Yeah.
You divide that by the 1,500, that just inflates your number by that much.
It could only be about, 20?
It'd only be about 20, but that's 20 that didn't actually get sold.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I didn't realize that they actually did that in the streaming age.
Oh, yeah, that's how they're doing it in the streaming age.
You have to do it some way, right?
And the joke is always because, okay, right, you need 1,500 streams for one sale. And then Spotify will pay you 0.001% of a cent per sale.
The streaming age.
Wow.
I mean, it's completely off topic, but the streaming age, the musicians are the
has
ones
has
suffering.
ruined the industry.
It's
Yeah.
ruined.
It's opened the floodgates to anybody can put out any bullshit they want on the internet and sell it.
Yeah.
And that's held to the same weight as a Def Leppard album or, the new Green Day album or whatever.
Right.
It's held to the same standard, which is weird.
Which is where the algorithm kicks in. So when they're suggesting you songs, they're not suggesting them to you because they're good. They're suggesting them to you because they're the songs they're making money off of.
Yeah. They're the ones
that are real good that they own those songs. So you're clicking on them. They're just paying themselves.
Yeah.
I never saw it that way, but that is
Yeah, that's
That
the way
is how
the
it's
works
working.
now.
Yeah.
that's how it's working. Yeah.
I know that algorithm is set up. It's not set up to get exposure to new people. It's set up so they make more money. That's what it
Right.
is.
It's set up so you hear Pour Some Sugar on Me for the billionth time.
Yep, because they know no matter what, because they make so many cents on each view themselves, and then they pay out a percentage to it. So therefore, with being Pour Some Sugar on Me, it's got a high CPM. It's got a high, revenue that is garnered each time. Whatever streaming service earns more money as it gets played.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's constantly ebbing and flowing as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man, that's why I love this show. We just talk about some bullshit.
I mean,
You have to, though,
try.
right?
Yeah.
I think all of these things are important to keep in mind when evaluating an album.
Yes.
By a legacy act well past their prime, trying to stay relevant in a world that only recognizes the name and the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But when was the last time they actually had a hit at this point?
Exactly. Well, it was what?
Well,
at earliest, I'm sorry, like 20 years before this?
Yeah, I mean, we're going back to what? Two Steps Behind was really their last hit.
Exactly, yeah.
And I remember a couple singles after that. Like, I remember hearing Promises, seeing the video or something on VH1.
Yeah,
and
the
it
video
was
was cool. It
immediately
was
like,
on.
what else is on,
Yeah.
you can tell by the album cover of this. This is Euphoria Part 2 or Hysteria Part 4. Like, they are trying to, like...
Which is Pyromania Part 5?
Right.
What gets me is it being a self-titled album, like, this far into their career. Like, I could see them of doing that earlier on, but why? I mean, what was the point of it?
This should make a state... When a band puts out an album, self-titled...
That's
late in
reason
their
number
career,
one.
It should make a... Blink-182, for example. It's called Untitled, but, it's Blink-182. They put it out like 4 or 5 records into their career, it marked a dramatic shift in the tone and the music and the sound of the band. They were saying, hey, this is Blink-182 now. And it works. Def Leppard, though,
it didn't work.
It's more the same. It's the same.
Well, and that's reason number 2. Like, this is the definitive, what you see is what you get. And then reason number 3 is what do you call this? What is the song that jumps out and, like, really ties this album together for you, like, in the mix? Like, there's nothing here.
There is, this album is so weird, and it feels like just thrown together. They're throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks.
Yeah, there's no cohesive concept.
Not at all.
So there's no title.
Interesting.
And I want to mention something Bill said on Through the Night. He mentioned Queen. Man Enough.
Yeah, literally my notes.
I have 3 things to say about Man Enough. Number 1.
Before you do, should I remind everybody that this is where we point out that we don't know each other's picks or notes or anything? No. We don't discuss this before.
I'm not going to blow the whistle on mine either. Sorry.
We don't know.
We're literally hearing the same stuff. I love it.
We're an unscripted show.
Yeah.
100%. Trust me, you can't script this shit.
Number 1. Oh snap! Go on with your bad self, Rick Savage, because he's Rick Savage doing some cool shit. Until number 2. In an earlier video, Tim said they were trying to sound like Queen, and Bill corrected him and said the first of many times. This is one of those times. And number 3, Wikipedia says the song was written by Phil Collins and Joe Elliott. That is a lie. This was written by Mercury and May. Like, that is a fucking Queen
and
song.
Deacon.
Yeah, Deacon.
And Taylor.
Yeah.
And I believe someone else had a credit on that. Hold on. It's not the David Bowie song. It's the other one.
Yeah, it's not the Bowie song.
The one Weird Al should have a writing credit on. It's another one rides the bus, right?
Another one rides the bus.
Just to, like, hammer in the fact that, like, we don't know each other's notes and shit. This is my notes. This album was all over the place. They were just throwing shit at the wall to see what would stick. It has no cohesive feeling at all. Like, it's evident when you hear this record. They were just, fuck.
They were throwing shit at a wall, hoping it stuck.
Here's some hysteria. Here's some fucking slang. Here's some fucking country. Here's some pop. Fuck. Just like us, please.
My feelings is it was like, I'm thankful that y'all are still around and doing this. That's, but at the same time, it's kind of like the same old song and dance.
Well, I would also like to reference back to, I can't remember what album it was, our previous video, where I said the lyric, it's better to burn out than to fade away.
Yeah, I was just thinking about saying something about that. I was thinking about that because they're trying too hard, and I would rather see them just burn out and stop.
I think they've harmed their legacy in the last 20 years.
They what?
I think they've harmed their not necessarily their legacy, but they've harmed their discography by
the brand. They've harmed the brand.
The brand of Def Leppard is every time they put out a record, they're harming themselves at this point.
Yeah, again, I go back to Iron Maiden and what they're doing at this point in 2015. They're on album number 16. They're still at the top of their game. Producing like fucking 16-minute long epics that are going nowhere near the radio, but they're not even trying. They're still selling out stadiums around the world. And the albums are still interesting and, have weathered the trends. Whereas this is, Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know it's unfair to compare them to Iron Maiden, but in a way it's not. They both literally started at the exact same spot at the same time, and both have sold over 100 million albums and are still going today.
Yeah.
How Def Leppard got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame first is beyond me.
It's because
my notes for Man Enough are literally Another One Bites the Dust, which, if I'm looking at this correctly, is purely a John Deacon songwriting credit. And it says that he was ripping off Good Times by Chic, which everybody knows was the Rapper's Delight bass line, which started hip-hop. Yeah. So we're going for some real low-hanging fruit here.
Yep. Energized is fucking Smashing Pumpkins' 1998 Adore. Like that flood shit that they tried to do.
Interesting. Okay. That's where I had heard that. Okay.
Which isn't the first time they've done it, but they're just throwing everything they've ever done at the wall here.
My notes for Energized say it's an ironic title because it's pretty boring.
But then he says, I'm energized in the most unenergized way.
There's some irony there.
I mean, I know we're talking about, I hate to use the term throwing things against the wall, but I got to talk about brokenhearted. What the hell are these lyrics? These lyrics say, I'm not well.
My friend. That was a setup.
That was a good segue. I like it. Whoo. Mm-hmm. I'm not well. I'm mad as hell. Come over here. I'll ring your bell. You got no class. You're so crass. Get over here. I'll kick your ass. As this song, as it continues on, I realize he's talking about a girl that left him. Like, left him broken and heartbroken, whatever the fuck he... broken-hearted. Left her broken-hearted. Not cool, Def Leppard. Not cool. You're talking about kicking...
Rick Allen, you're a bad man.
Very bad man.
I mean, I know, I'm a drummer, so I totally get that, there's some limitations here. But I also know he could do, like, a triplet. Double stroke?
I mean, the guitars have two hands. What's their excuse?
Oh, they're just pulling the whammy anyway. Come on, guys. It was at this point in the catalog, as we had discussed earlier, I gave up on actually liking the guitar tone albums ago. But at this one, I really did have to kind of acknowledge that the Campbell-Collin combo is a really good guitar duo. And most of the interesting stuff, not only on this album, but the last couple albums, it's when the guitar players decide to actually play.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, that is true.
So I'll give them that. And every time they do decide to play, they do some really cool shit. Like when the solo rips, the solo rips. When it's a great riff, it's a great riff. Again, not a fan of the tone anymore. Steve Clark, Pete Willis,
you can definitely
baby.
Tell that they're starting to show their age.
Yeah,
most definitely.
Yeah. They're probably pushing 60 here.
I disagree. I hate the whole they're getting older defense because they're getting older, but the Rolling Stones put out a record last year that rocks harder than anything I've heard from Def Leppard in the last 3 albums that we've covered.
Yep.
So Bad Religion put out an album a few years ago that rocks harder, and it's not even a hard album than anything that Def Leppard has done.
Yeah.
So I don't think
that's
an excuse.
I'll go back to Iron Maiden. The songs might be a little long, they might be a little plodding, but they're really interesting, and they're all still playing actual instruments.
The fucking Who put out an album in, what was that, 2020?
19.
2019 that rocked way fucking harder than this. And the Who are a lot older than Def Leppard.
Wow.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Forever Young, you know, Bill said it was Satellite. There's only one Satellite. There's only one Forever Young. It's fucking Rod Stewart. I mean, come on.
I'm just going to piggyback off all your notes, Jason, because we're lining up. But Forever Young is one of the cooler riffs on the album, and I would almost say a high point. Not the high point, though. I actually have a dark horse song on this album that is a top song contender.
Okay. Really?
Now, does it fit into the country pattern that they've been establishing? Absolutely. But Battle of My Own is a pretty cool riff. And they actually, like, songwriting-wise, go into a really, like, some stuff that they don't do. It's also a little like Battle of Evermore, if you remember your Zeppelin.
We already talked about Zeppelin and Tolkien here on an earlier album.
Yeah. But it doesn't have, like, the Def Leppard cheese layer.
My notes for that one says the song was fine until those weird ass voice effects came in. Like they did
It's
something
not
weird
perfect
with Elliot's voice that was weird.
Sure. But I do think that's the highlight of the album.
I'll say the highlight is Blind Faith. It's nothing new. It's got some blues licks here and there. It's simple, but it's not bad.
But they totally lifted that middle section off the Beatles. It was what, Day in the Life?
Yeah. The flute section.
Yeah,
that's
totally a Day in the
totally,
Life.
Yeah, that's Magical Mystery Toy. But you got distortion,
yes.
You got strings, things are moving. You know, then it goes back to the guitar solos, Def Leppard shit happening. There was some high pitched shit going on, but it was interesting. I'll give it was interesting. For Def Leppard.
But does it rock?
No. But it was interesting.
Oh, I'm agreeing with you. I am totally agreeing with you on that.
I don't want to talk about this record anymore. Anybody else got anything to say? Who hasn't talked yet?
There's 5 songs that fit the song where I can't tell them apart, where the last, like, X was pretty egregious with it. This one's not as egregious with it. Still present. We Belong, All Time High, Last Dance. They're all the same song.
Let's Go and Dangerous feels to me like it could have belonged on Hysteria. Just naturally. Just
sure.
You know, that's the, you know. But
my notes for Let's Go are they poured some sugar on some modern day Green Day.
Yeah.
My notes for We Belong is this would make an amazing mid-40s second or third marriage wedding song.
So we've moved beyond the junior high dance and we're now at 4th wedding dance song. Okay, so there's progress.
I did like the bass tone in Invincible though. I think Savage liked if it was listening to Billy Idol cassette and your batteries are dying and the tape is slowing down is what it sounded like, but
that's when Billy Idol starts getting good. Gets doomy.
Sea of Love, I was not set adrift on the Sea of Love with this one. It's not boring. There I said something nice. I liked All Time High only because it sounded so familiar. I was tapping along with a very predictable beat before I heard it for the first time. When I heard it the first time, I knew what was coming. But it kind of reminded me of the Perfect Strangers theme song. Do you guys remember Perfect Strangers? Standing tall on the That's what it reminded me of. And
Oh my
I like
God.
that. I like the 80s
Okay,
sitcoms. Like,
okay,
you know,
okay.
I'd get behind that.
Well, believe it or not, I'm walking on air.
Yeah.
I know.
Fucking 80s theme songs, man.
Yeah.
Okay, cousin Larry.
Poor Bill. He's like, you old fuckers. I don't know what you're
Yeah,
talking
Bill's
about.
like, what? Valky who?
Go watch some Sunny. It's Always Sunny and Rick and Morty, you old fuckers.
No. Well, I mean, Rick and Morty's great, but no, that's beside the point.
That's all I got to say about Def Leppard.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we could talk 80s sitcoms all day long about this album, but let's not.
Bill, did you go already?
Nope.
Oh no, he likes.
got
this
anything
one.
else
He's
to
been
add?
very quiet. He's been very quiet.
He's like, I
Very
fucking
quiet.
love this album.
I'd love it.
I actually do like this album.
Oh, well, please lay it on
Here's the
us.
thing. Flashback to what I was talking about earlier albums before this. Def Leppard is the epitome of a band that has terrible timing.
Yeah.
Absolute epitome of terrible timing. If this album, not all the songs, but majority of the songs have been released in 1980s, right? If this self-titled album had been their first album, it would have been all right. I'm not saying it would have been a great album. I'm not saying it would have been fantastic. I think it would have been all right. I love in this album, there's even more hints of them starting to sound back to what they did on Pyromania, on Hysteria. The more sounds like what they were doing before. To me, this album was them trying to call back to what they were doing before. And yeah, you still got a couple where they're following the trends, but they abandoned a lot of the trends that happened in 2009. I'm just going back 6 years because that's what every other album did up to this point for the last 5. And they tried to get back to things that were done before and to what they sounded like before.
I could see that.
Right? That's what I liked about it. It's not, yes, there isn't a lot of original stuff on here, like sound wise.
Yeah, because like Broken Hearted reminded me a lot of early 70s Kiss.
Yes. And that's like, there's a lot that harkens back to that stuff. I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah.
But, you know, for the fact of doing it as a self-titled, as their, 11th studio album, 10th studio album? That's really late in the career to do it.
Yeah.
Like, if this had been their
So are they
second-
making the statement, and this is the definitive Def Leppard, and the definitive Def Leppard, I can't even say it twice slowly, is just ripping off other things you've heard?
Well, here's the thing. Right, hear me out. What has Def Leppard been for the last 15 years up till this point? 20 years.
Irrelevant.
Really. But what were they doing? They were ripping off other things up to this point.
Sure.
The thing is, on this one, they're at least putting their own spin on it. It's not just the flute. They've got some weird distortion and stuff going on. It's not just, Boys to Men. They're actually doing some rock with it. It's not just
that's
Luke
a fair
Bryan
point.
singing in sync. It's, okay, we're going to do a little bit more of that Def Leppard Hysteria sound underneath that was going on.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Again, I'm not saying
I
this
can
is
see that, honestly.
like the best album.
I think
of all
what threw
time.
me is just that none of this is memorable. So even looking at like my notes, I'm just like, I mean, sure, but like,
here's the thing.
none of this was good.
If it isn't memorable, that doesn't mean it was terrible. Because you remember terrible stuff.
You remember 21st Century Sha-La-La Girl.
24
Exactly.
hours in every day, I walk on past just to hear you say. That's right.
Is that, and that's my point, right?
Yeah.
It's being non-memorable from a music, purely production standpoint is not good. I will say
Sure.
that.
Sure.
But if you're known for being, if you have a choice between not being known and being known for bad, you're better off not being known at the end of the day.
No such thing as bad press. I get it. Yeah.
Right? Like this album, I mean, 2015. Shit, this was my junior year of high school. Right? This is where, what's going on. Like, yeah, it's the radio that's going on. You should know it. And no, these songs were on the radio. They really weren't streamed avidly, right?
You heard them in the minivan on the way to soccer practice.
Something like that, yes. Right? But, like, I like that it harkens back to at least, hear me out, I think this album is what Def Leppard wanted to sound like the whole time.
Oh, okay.
If Mutt Lange had never entered the picture, this is what Def Leppard would have been.
That's
Because then after that, they've been chasing Mutt Lange up till this point. No, we haven't referenced Mutt Lange really at all in this episode.
that's true.
Compared to the rest of the discography, we haven't.
So that means he's probably got like 2 or 3 points on the album, right? We don't even know about.
Exactly. You get what I'm saying, though, right? Like,
yeah, of course.
And here's the thing, and I can respect if a band is trying to do something.
Yeah, I hear you.
No, it's not original sounding. But if this is what they wanted to do, like Escape the Fate, right? They don't necessarily sound themselves, right? Like they're copying off of other riffs and other people, but they add their own twist to it, right? Like, yes, they're essentially a glorified cover band at certain aspects in here, but they aren't outright covering, they're adding their own twist to it.
Well, and
that's what I like about it.
No, and I could see that like they recorded this at Joe's house and at Phil's house.
Yeah.
So like they were probably really comfortable, took their time, were able to get what they wanted. So yeah, no, I totally see what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm not saying that this album should have gone platinum or even silver, for fuck's sake. But
for a late career Def Leppard record, you're saying this one is
like compared to what we've heard for the last 20 years. In my mind, this is a little bright shining star.
Okay, no, great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, it does have a song. I'm like, that could be a top song contender. Like,
actually, I'm
not
trying
bad.
to. I think I think my number 5 is actually coming off this album. If I'm being honest.
Okay. We'll definitely stick around for that conversation.
Yeah,
Wow.
Top Songs is going to be super fun, this discography.
Oh, God, yes.
This
We're
discography
not
has
gonna
been
wanna
super
miss-
fun. And we got one more to go.
We got one more to go.
Ooh.
Whose turn is it to rank? I can't remember.
It would be Cowboys if we're going about the process here.
Well, actually, didn't he guess?
I
think.
No, it's his turn to guess.
Okay.
Yeah, because I just did Sparkle Lounge.
All right, Cowboy. Where do you think we're all putting Def Leppard?
I don't know. I'd have to say. Well, Tim, I'm gonna have to say you're gonna put Def Leppard right there on in between Slang and Adrenalize. So that's gonna be what?
You know, you're close.
Close. But no cigar?
Not quite.
No.
I think if you move Adrenalize over one,
All right, move Adrenalize over one. Okay.
then I'd probably put it there.
Okay.
I see you, Tim. I see you. All right. You wait for
Let's
the meat
see.
grinder, you motherfucker. You wait.
What?
I was talking
What?
shit. I was talking shit to Tim. Sorry.
No.
Ignore me.
Oh, and I heard it.
All right. William, I'm going to have to say you're going to put it probably because you surprised me with your.
He's the wild card here, I think.
Yeah,
I didn't say it was good. I said I can respect and I like it for certain aspects.
Do you think he put it above X?
No.
No.
No. Yeah. He did.
It is above X. I'll tell you that.
Do you think he put it above Slang?
Yeah.
Euphoria.
Yeah.
Sparkle
You're
Lounge?
on the right track. Which one are you picking?
Let's see. It's probably right behind Adrenalize. Am I right?
Over on through the night?
You're right.
Whoa! Oh! I'll give props to Cowboy for guessing that because I would not have guessed that crazy thing.
It's kind of a coin flip, but yeah, I've got to put it over onto the night.
Where am I putting it, Cowboy?
Where are you putting it?
Is it better than X?
No.
You, sir, are incorrect.
Okay. All right.
Is it better than Slang?
No.
You
still
sir,
like Slang better than that.
You are correct.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Overall, I had. Wait, no, that's.
So there's
I was
at
reading the
least
wrong
2
notes.
albums worse than Slang.
You nailed it, Cowboy. Where are you putting it?
Well, it's not better than Slang. Not for me. Slang.
Is it better than Sparkle Lounge?
Is it better than Sparkle Lounge? Yeah.
Is it better than X?
Yes.
But it's not better than Slang.
It's not better than Slang.
All right, we lined up right here. Boom, 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 boom. Tim's playing a fucking game with Adrenalize, but Bill, Bill
ain't no game.
Honestly, I'm just playing a game with. I'm just playing a game with that track or that album, honestly. But I don't know, something about it.
I mean, I had the same reaction with Euphoria. Like there was parts that were really good, and then parts that were not so good. One more to go, though. Diamond Star Halos 2022?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, 2022.
Coming up, I noticed when I posted on Facebook, what's everybody's favorite Def Leppard record? 99.9% of the people said Hysteria, and there was one guy who said Diamond Star Halos was his favorite record, so shout out to that guy.
Oh, man, please comment down below when we get next episode. Stick around.
Yep, let us know down below that you watched the video, and shout out to you for liking Diamond Star Halos. We might like it too, I don't know. Stick around. No spoilers. Be safe. Make good decisions.